What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Adrian here for Benjamin Mateo Drones. Yeah, I'm very happy. Um, got the new birds. Working on my unboxing and first impression for the DJI Final 4 Pro V2.0. I'm working on that. Please bear with me. That video is actually coming. I'm going to try to go ahead and finish it up, give it the finishing touches this morning. Well, tonight, basically. I'm going to work on it. That's right, the DJI Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. That bird is a beast. I do want to welcome everybody to the Adrian Mateo Drone Show. This is Adrian, your host. I'm waiting for my co-host, Mr. Recovery One Drone, aka Draymond Crawford, to pop on in. Your link has already been sent via email, also on Facebook Messenger. I noted that we have several people already here. We got Mr. Jody Drone Shots as the first person. We got Miss Susan Lee. We got Lauren Denauer. Thank you for popping in. Mike Rennick. We also got Mr. Bob Casey Ariel. How you doing, buddy? We got Mr. Fly. Got Merrill 399.9. We got Eric, Mr. E Drone. Oh wow. Somebody I have not seen in a long time since back in school. Catherine Mena. Oh my God. Dime, mi amor, ¿cómo tú estás? ¿Cómo está todo? We got who else? That's pretty much. Oh, we got Mr. Paul Wedgen Big. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for popping in. Hold on, what? Party net so up and on. I don't know why it looks like that. Um, I got excellent connection. Let me go ahead and bring in Mr. Jeremy Crawford in the hizzy. Hey, Dre, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hang on a second. There I
Okay.
am.
There you go. I guess you were changing the camera around.
Yeah, I was changing cameras.
Okay. Well, as you can see, Dre, actually reverted back to StreamYard just for today. I'm actually still working the kinks on the what you call it on the Zoom to pretty much future
Hmm.
post. You know what I mean? The stream. That way,
Yeah.
everybody will actually get the notification on the show. That way, just won't be a surprise like boom, I'm coming in at 9 o'clock and don't nobody get nothing. I'm working on it
Right.
now as we speak. I'm actually learning. You know what I mean? How to do it on my own. I did reach
Hmm.
out to some people to help me out, but some people are just full of shit. Sometimes they say they're gonna help you and then they don't. YouTube is your best friend. I'm just gonna learn on my own through YouTube, watching videos. You know what I mean? Learning how to do it. I'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, sometimes that's the best way to learn is kind of
Yeah, I
feel your
mean,
way through it.
correct. I mean, hell, StreamYard is still free. If you still want to go ahead and do it, so what the hell? It doesn't matter to me.
Hmm.
Anyway, so how's your day
Yeah.
going, brother Dre?
It's been a full day. Like I said, I was up at dawn this morning at the first site, and then I came home, uploaded all that information, data up to the client, and then I went down to Temecula for a quick little mini drone meetup with
Oh,
some folks
did you
down
see?
there.
Did you see the lady Cynthia Morona and the family?
Cynthia didn't make it. She had a job up in Santa Barbara this
Okay,
morning, and then but Angela was there. Jeffrey Ha was there, and a guy named Eric came out. And there's about five of us who were four or five of us that was out there today. A little quick little mini meetup,
okay,
and hopefully we'll broaden our horizons as we go from there. We want to kind of test the waters, and got out our birds a little bit, and then broke a little bread, and then we parted our ways.
okay. Nice, nice. We also got Mr. Michael Rath from Texar Drone Guy. Thank you for popping in, sir. I really appreciate that. We got Mr. Andrew Silverfox. Thank you for popping in, sir. Oh, we got Kim from All Things Drone. How you doing, Kim? Thank you for popping in. Hey, Kim, I actually
All
saw
right,
your video that you posted. That was nice. I like that. Great
all
job.
right.
Hey, Eric, thank you,
Good
sir,
job,
for the
Kim.
thumbs up. I really appreciate that. We got Mr. Paul Hodges from Phantom Hodges Drones. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for popping in. Who else do we have here? 'Cause we got 22 people watching already, and we literally just started the show. Nice. Thank you for the love and support. I appreciate that.
All right.
See here.
I
So,
know you should have
Dre, when
22
it
thumbs
comes to
up.
that little, I'm sorry, say that again.
I said we should have 22 thumbs up. We got 22 people.
How much do we have? Hell, I haven't really been paying attention to that.
I see 12 thumbs up, and I got 23 watching.
Hey guys, please do me a favor, smash that thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Please, and thank you. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and pull up my own channel and see. Yeah, we do have 23 people watching. Yes, we do. Now I see 13. We're now 14 thumbs up. So anyway, let's see here. We also got, who else do we have here? Somebody that I haven't said hi to. Mr. John, Mr. JRC. How you doing, buddy? Steve-43068. Thank you, sir, for popping in. Leonard from JSK Enterprise. Thank you for popping in, buddy. Really appreciate that. We got Steve W. Knowles. Hey, how you doing, buddy? We got John Anu Visuals. Thank you for popping in, sir. Really appreciate that. Thank you for the love and support. We got Mr. Joe Fotoleo. Mendes Journal. Hey, Jose. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for popping in, sir. Thank you for the love and support. Paul said, hey, I got a speeding ticket flying my FPV drone today for flying 90 miles. Is that, are you serious? Is that for real? No, that got to be a joke. That got to be a freaking joke.
That water level. Okay.
Hey, Ken, how you doing, buddy? From Placer here. Thank you for popping in, sir. Really appreciate that. Do you see anybody else that I haven't said hi to? Oh, Johnny John Flyer. How you doing, buddy? Thank you so much.
Big Johnny's in the house.
Who?
Big, you said Johnny Joe Flyer's in the house?
Yes, I did say Johnny, yes.
Okay, good, Johnny.
Oh, I know
you said Mr. Bob Casey's in the house.
We got Cynthia Marone popping in. Thank you, Manny and Cynthia Marone. Thank you for popping in.
Cynthia gave us a little of her time today. She was a little busy.
At least she's in the chat.
In Temecula. Yeah, she's in the chat. Angela's gonna give you a hard time.
Thank you so much for popping in. Let me go ahead and tell this person that gave this person actually a shout out. Hey, Caterimena, hazme favor y dame por el Facebook en Adrián Mateo Drones y háblame por ahí para que sigamos hablando ahorita. Anyway, so Dre, when it comes to the video that you actually posted, I think it was today or recently. I think I've seen that Amazon building that's completed. Is that one of your building that you're going to be doing, you said, for about another year?
Yeah, that's the first building of two. The fight was, like I say, the building, the structure itself is up. There's still a lot more, I say, detail work. You still got your landscaping going on, other things, plus what's going on inside to make the building operational. They're just now starting the we call the earthworks grading operations on the second building. The pad was already built, but now they're going to do the finished grading on the second building. So I'll be out there on that job site for at least another year.
For at least another year, okay. Now, is that like is that like if you don't mind me asking, is that a weekly paying job, or like you get paid every 2 weeks or once a month? If you don't mind me asking.
It's a month. It's a monthly gig.
Okay, a monthly gig. So you do it once a month or twice a month?
Once a month. I tried when I first got on it in January. I took over from another pilot who couldn't fulfill the obligation, and I initially tried to push for twice a month, but they didn't want to spend the money, so they went with once a month. But like I tell people, you don't have to make a killing on every job, because if I'm on this job for at least another year and a half, that adds up in the long run.
Oh, it sure do.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's gonna go ahead and help you pay for those new drones and parts, batteries, and accessories that you've been getting for those bad boys.
Right. That's exactly it. Yeah.
No, Bob Case. If anybody want to throw a link in the chat for us to go ahead and play a video, go ahead and feel free to go ahead and do so. That's no problem. I'll be more than happy to go ahead and play for you guys, and share it over here in the stream. That'll be fine. Anybody that wants to go ahead and do it, pop it on in and just let me know.
Oh, Mr. Phantom Hodges, you get him?
Who?
Phantom Hodges.
Yes, I did. Paul Hodges. Yes, I did. I already say hi to him. Yes, I did.
Okay. And JSK and E-Drone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I sure did. I'm one step ahead of you, Dre.
Okay, I'm the one that's slow. That's why I'm old.
Hey, Dre, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that remote pilot ID lawsuit with Race Day Quad, and the fact that they went ahead and lost lawsuit. Now they went ahead and went into a little back and forth. You know what I mean with some people about that. Now, I'm not arguing. For anybody that wants to go ahead and
Hmm.
find out exactly what was said. It was more like back and forth, just trying to find out what exactly went on. But if I'm not mistaken, I think if my mind is serving me right, that you mentioned something about they went with a Fourth Amendment, right? And they could not use that against the lawsuit. Is that what, did I understood that correctly?
Just to put a disclaimer out there, this is just my opinion. I'm not on any FAA board or anything else. This is just my opinion as a Part 107 pilot and how I view my position or our position within those rules and regulations. And I'll put this out there initially. Within the FAA guidelines, we are classified either recreational or commercial. We're
Correct.
classified as pilots, good or bad. Like I said, when we want the protections and the privileges of pilot, we're all in. But that also comes with the restrictions of being a pilot. We all have to be in. Now, with that said, I'll go into my interpretation of what occurred, what should have maybe occurred, or what else with the Race Day Quad uh, lawsuit. I know many channels have already talked about this, some with a lot more information than I may have or we may have about what occurred. I look at it not just as a drone operator, but from a legal standpoint. That's the position I take. From my background of even my college courses as in pre-law, working in law enforcement,
Hey, Dre, your camera's going in and out, sir. I cannot hear you, and I can see you, but I cannot hear you. And now you look
working
like
in
you
law,
just
looking for, okay,
yeah.
okay. Am I
Right now you
back up
look like you
now?
just
Okay,
you actually look. It looks pretty bad, Dre, on this end, like it's going in and
okay,
out, and like freezing up and stuff like that.
right. How about now?
It
You
looks a
getting
little
better
better
now?
now. Yeah, it looks a little
Okay,
better.
and that's why I tell people that I look at this from a legal standpoint, not just from a flyer standpoint. And I would say that race day quads uh, picked the wrong battle to fight this with. If they would have went from a perspective of just trying to build a build a more of a consensus of flying overall and the endangerment that the remote ID could place pilots in, I think they may have better headway using the Fourth Amendment as their lead argument. I know there was a lot of different arguments in this, but using the Fourth Amendment, I felt was a poor choice because the whole basis of the Fourth Amendment is basically under your rights against unlawful search and seizure under the law. It broadens out a little more about privacy and all these different other things, but the basis of the Fourth Amendment always comes back to unlawful search and seizure, and they'll
Correct.
always come back to that. And that was the problem because when the judges asked questions about this, about they were saying, well, we only want to fly below the tree level in our backyards and all this kind of stuff. Why do we have to submit? Well, people don't understand. Once you leave the dwelling of your house and you're in open area, even in your backyard, you're considered no longer under the Fourth Amendment because you're in an
Correct.
open space at that time. Even on
Correct.
your own property, you're in an open space because you live in a housing development like me, where houses are fairly close. If I had a single story house, I could look in the neighbor's next door yard if I'm in a two-story
Not, not,
house.
not,
So
not
you can't.
Dre.
So you can't.
Okay, I'm sorry. Just pause for 1 second. Just Hold that thought. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Okay.
cut you off. How you doing, Paul? How you doing,
All
buddy?
right.
Hey guys, how you doing? Sorry, my net might be spotty because I'm out on vacation in New York. I'm not joking. I got a speeding ticket with my FPV drone today.
That happened to you in New York?
Who
Yep,
issued it?
over at Lake George. One of the cops that rides around in the boat. It says observe flying drone 90 miles an hour, water level, Lake George. Says it right on the ticket.
Wow.
It's actually not a ticket. He summons me to court like he thinks I'm coming back to New York to go to court for this.
Are you shitting
Oh,
me?
wow.
I am not kidding you. He came and told me that I had to fly the drone higher, that I was too close to water. I says, no, I don't. I didn't quite say it like that, but I asked him if he could cite the regulation because as far as I knew, my flight was legal. I wasn't in controlled airspace. I checked everything before I took off. Completely legal to fly there. He said that I was too close to the water and too close to the boats.
Okay.
So he wrote me a ticket and said, observe me going 90 miles an hour next to the water. It says it right on the ticket.
But my thing is, how did he clock the drone? Did he have a radar? Did he show you?
No, he can't clock it. He had no way to clock it.
So how did he know it was going 90 miles an hour?
I don't know. Listen, he was mad because I told him that I could fly close to the water. That's what happened. He was mad.
Okay.
So
I will address that, Adrian. So let me finish. I will address Paul's situation.
Okay, go ahead.
If he chooses to fight it, I will tell him how to fight that. Okay. Now, back to what I'm saying, that when you exit your home, the dwelling of your home, the roof inside the house, you're in open space. In the backyard, in the front yard, you are now in open space. Okay. So, and that's what we tell you. When the FAA classifies what is airspace, it states in the FAA regulations that once you leave ground, or they say terra firma ground or whatever you want to call it, you are now in airspace. Once you leave the gravity of the ground, you are now in airspace. If it be 6 inches or 600 feet, you are in airspace. Okay. Now, we all know as drone operators, we are subject to regulations that puts us between 0 to 400 feet, unless you get a waiver to fly above and beyond. Okay?
Yeah.
And not without a waiver.
That's what I'm saying. Without a waiver. And that's why I said it was a poor choice to use the Fourth Amendment as their lead argument. It should have been more based upon the safety of the operators from nuisance and harassment of those who may gain access to this remote ID information for personal grudges or whatever that people may have against drones, or either what's going on. Okay, that should have been their issue, the safety of the operator. Just like when you have a regular manned aircraft, you are not allowed to enter the cockpit of a commercial airliner unless asked. You can't go barge it in and say, "Hey, what's going on, fellas?" That's violation of law. Even in a small aircraft, those private pilots, recreational pilots per se, they have what we call a expectation of safety in that cockpit area, even though it may not be a closed door, but no one is allowed to go up into that bubble or where the operator sits and to harass, annoy, or interfere while he is operating the aircraft. Okay. So like I said, you have to look at it from a safety standpoint, and that would have been their best argument, because if the FAA classifies us as pilots, once again, we need to use those protections and privileges of a pilot and say, I cannot truthfully feel safe if someone has the opportunity to harass me, to obstruct me while I'm operating the aircraft that you designated as an aircraft.
Correct. Now, that's one thing, Dre, that I don't know if you guys actually watched the video that 51 drones Ross have actually been putting out about the FAA, and he basically saying that, basically just to quote what E-Drone Eric just went ahead and posted, is that now anybody with a phone and an app will be able to actually locate the location of the drone pilot, and they will be able to remember, we talked about that a while ago, Dre, and we all were under the impression that will not happen. But the way the FAA has it written down as of today, and what I've been searching as well, is that anybody will actually be able to know where exactly I am at. and come
that's
and confront me if they have a grudge against drones. And things can actually get ugly. Matter of fact, a lot of people even posting videos saying that now every single one of us should actually go ahead and get our permit to conceal carry, because anything can, it's like a free for all now. Like anybody could just come. For example, like Paul was flying his drone. Again, I don't know how in the hell he went ahead and just know how fast the drone was going when you don't even have a way to track it, how fast it was going. You just started talking out of your ass. You just started talking out of your butt.
Now,
you know, it says uniform traffic ticket. I don't understand how I got a traffic. I was standing on a bridge. Flying. How do I get
address? Like I said, now I'm gonna address your situation, Paul.
How you doing, Gary Brown? How you doing, buddy? Thank you for popping in.
The way you go about this, the whole thing is the officer is anticipating you not returning to New York to face court procedure. Okay, this is an easy ticket to fight, very easy. Okay, one thing you can always challenge the officer's credentials himself, as how is he qualified to estimate the speed of an aircraft. Don't say drone, aircraft, period, because what you fly is designated as an aircraft under FAA regulations. So the verbiage you use is going to be just important. So basically, you got to ask this officer, does he cite other aircraft for speeding violations at various altitudes in airspace? Because once again, you're flying in airspace. Okay, you was on the ground. Wasn't no tires going there. Like I said, I was a qualified officer who took a speed estimation class. We don't say radar class, we say speed estimation class, which means they don't train us particularly on the radar gun. They train us how to use various objects, telephone poles, light poles, whatever, to be able to judge through time and distance, estimate how fast a vehicle or whatever is traveling. Okay. And that's what I'm saying, that you have to ask the officer, by what means, one, have you qualified speed estimation qualifications? One. Secondly, by what measures did you judge the speed of my aircraft? Between what point and what point? What did you use as a speed guide? You know, how fast did I get from point A to point B? You have to have some known fixed objects to go by, because that's how you estimate speed. Okay. The third part I would go after, as far as the fact that, once again, he's not qualified to make that assumption.
Correct, because he's not an FAA person.
Well, is that about FAA person? Because basically FAA is going to use law enforcement to enforce the rules.
Well, of course.
Now, but the next thing is, the fact is, by him not citing him for a FAA regulations, it's an invalid ticket altogether. He cited him for what? A vehicle violation or for a boating violation? He didn't cite you for a FAA violation. So under what code did he write on the ticket that you violated?
Reckless.
Reckless. No, hold on, Adrian. Reckless only applies for vehicle operations
and intent.
Like I say, reckless only applies for vehicle operations, because there's no rules in the FAA regulation that says you have to fly a straight and narrow path at a certain altitude at any given time. If you're flying FPV,
was reckless because I was flying around boats.
Only thing he could have cited you for that would make any sense to me would not be any type of vehicle boating citation. There would have to be under a penal code section, but basically reckless activities with the possible, or with the probability of creating harm or danger to the other citizens. That's the only thing he could come up with. Him trying to cite speed, none and void. Him trying to cite you're flying too close to the water, none and void and stuff. Because there is no regulation that covers that as far as vehicle or boating regulations. How do you judge how fast somebody
was saying I'm reckless and not have a? I didn't get in a crash. I was flying close to the water around boats, but in his opinion, he thinks that's reckless. But I had complete control of the drone.
Now, one thing, Paul.
Right. That's what I said. The whole ticket's invalid.
Now, one thing, Paul. I know that as JSK Enterprise went ahead and said, that ticket, it is that official document. If you don't fight it, you know what I mean? It will be against you until you go ahead and take care of it.
Right.
So, you know, I understand what you're
That's
saying.
and that's what I'm saying. That
And as we are discussing it
you
tonight, and
gotta
again,
fight it.
thank you. And again, thank you for even bringing that to Floreza, because honestly, I actually thought that you were joking, because sometimes, you know, you could be a kid. Like you could, sometimes, you know,
Yeah,
you could
no,
come in with
no, I get it, but this is serious. I was not
Hey.
kidding.
Hey, Adrian.
Yes.
Adrian, you see what Al put in the section for careless or recklessness with the operation of aircraft? That's the section.
You mean
you
Al
should have
Diaz?
wrote on the ticket. Yeah, time to fly.
Okay, hold on, because I
section
haven't seen that.
91.13.
Okay, right here. 9-1.
There
okay.
it is right there.
No. He
And
used
that's
New
the
York
sec-
Penal Code 1. He didn't. He used New York Penal Code 120.20.
which is invalid because New York Penal Code does not cover airspace.
Exactly. That's what I tried to explain to him. Yep.
Right, and that's why I'm saying the ticket's invalid because he didn't write the right proper section on the citation anyway.
Well,
but
and what I said to him. Well, and what I said to him was, listen, I understand that maybe some people are concerned, but I'm in control of the aircraft, and I'm not flying it recklessly. I'm flying for for leisure. And he's like, well, in my opinion, it's reckless. And what is the opinion police? He's supposed to be enforcement.
Like I say, he picked something out of the top of his hat, wrote it down, and he's dependent upon you not to show up. That's all it is.
Well, that's the problem. The court date is scheduled when I'm going to be back in Massachusetts. I'm not traveling back out to New York.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's your personal call. I'm just trying to tell you, if you want to fight this, I would advise you to fight this, because my thing is then the court looks at this as possibly something they can continue to write individuals up for, and the court will just turn a blind eye to it because nobody fights it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. The judge is not going to automatically look into this and go forever because he doesn't hear your side of the story or your argument. And he's not going to automatically take your side in the argument. They're going to say, oh, Mr. Paul didn't show up, so guess what? Boom. Case closed. They're going to see another letter in the mail saying you owe XYZ dollars.
Yeah, pretty
Simple
much.
as that. Yep.
So that's that.
So, like I say, I know it's a pain in the butt having to travel like that. I would advise you to go fight it. If you don't, just prepare to pay a couple $100 out of your pocket, dude. Because this is something that has to be dealt with, and that's why I tell people, if you get involved with local law enforcement, you got to be ready to fight it and make sure you are you're on good solid legal ground to fight something like this, because
I'm going to try to get it to the I'm going to try to get to the superiors before I leave here, but the police department was closed.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to get before that.
Yeah. Like I say, it was a violation that he wrote the improper violation, which is a dismissal automatically. There is no case as far as FAA record. Like you say, there is a section under it, but he's not the qualified authority to enforce that.
Now, Paul, just for you bringing that up, dude, that opens up a big freaking can of worm. I mean, damn, does that mean that if I'm actually here in this neighborhood, just flying, just trying to give me a nice little beautiful aerial shot, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, I'm going to get this cop that just want to be an asshole and say, hey, you can't fly that high. You got to bring it down. I'm going to give you a ticket. Well, according to this law, I'm allowed to. And then now they're going to be giving tickets all willy-nilly to anybody just because their feelings are hurt, because technically a whole bunch of them don't even know. You know what I mean? They know, they swore to uphold the law, but some of them do not know every single one of them, because I've seen many videos where a cop is literally being caught on video lying or using, the badge, improperly, and giving, basically harassing people, wrong way. It happens a lot, because I see it a lot. Wrongful ticket, saying that my taillight is out, just searching my car when my freaking taillight is not out. I've been stopped before over the bullshit. Oh, my license tag lights are not working. You know what I mean? When I go back, they will How the hell you mean it's not working? They're lit up right now. Well, it wasn't working when I was following you. Okay, so when you were following me, it didn't, but when I stopped, now it's working. You see what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, I was trying to educate him. I was like, I wish you would just stop talking and listen to me for a minute. I'm trying to help educate you, but he didn't want to hear it. I tried to explain to him that FAA had the authority over the airspace, not him. But he didn't want to hear it. So,
holy shit!
Like I said, you're gonna run into people like that. Don't want to hear it, and like I say, they're right and you're not, and that's all they know and that's all they want to know. But I think it was Gary just put out that if you can pull your flight log, which will show your altitude, it will show your actual speed you are traveling in your flight log.
Oh, I was recording. I have the whole flight on record.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the flight logs is the official logs of the flight. And that's what I'm saying. If you're going to fight this is stuff like you bring to court. Says ticket says 90 miles per hour, and then here my thing says I flew at 50 or 60 miles per hour. That's 30 miles per hour difference. So that just goes to show his credibility is lacking because he's not an expert or trained individual to apply what he stated on the ticket. Like I said, when you go to speed estimation class, you have to be accurate within 2 to 3 miles per hour to stand up in court. Not 20, 30 miles per hour. Too much of a gap. So I was saying you can't state something you cannot state something you cannot prove that you're qualified to testify for.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I'm saying that and that's what I'm saying that I know it's a great inconvenience, and like I say, if I was visiting, especially out of state, it would be a big hassle for anybody to have to go back to somewhere you just went to visit and had to go take care of a court ticket. And unfortunately, this is how some agencies manipulate tourists, individuals or whatever, because they know most likely you won't come back, don't have the means to come back, or just it costs you more to come back than what the ticket may be. Who knows?
Yeah. Yep.
Because I know a lot of things is I know out in California, even if you beat the ticket, you still got to pay court fees. You still got to pay fees to the county and to the local city, just because you showed up in court. So you're out of money no matter what.
No, he didn't. By the way, at Brant, he didn't know I was from out of state until after he got my ID. He had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Now, holy shit! Like Johnny Drone Flyer went ahead and said, this remote ID crap is actually gonna be more bad than good. I mean, I could see, honestly, I don't promote none of this bullshit, so nobody quote what the hell I'm saying. This is just my opinion. I do think that this crap is gonna be, it's just gonna open a big kind of worm. Dre, now I remember you saying a while ago, and a lot of people did, that this will actually be good. You know what I mean? Now, again, we want the laws to be good, of course, but at the same time, I don't want Joe Blow to go ahead and come behind my back, you know what I mean, and know exactly where I'm at and say, hey, you know what? We noticed that Paul, Adrian, and Dre are flying in that corner. Let's go ahead, you know what I mean, and harass them, and hopefully we could rob them, you know what I mean, at gunpoint or that point. Maybe they don't have anything, and let's go down and take their drone, because drones happens to be expensive, and I want at some point people are going to be using drones, you know what I mean, as a commodity till, hey, let's go ahead and get a drone and sell it, you know what I mean, because, hey, people willing to pay 100 to 300 like Dre. Dre paid almost down to 15 grand for that damn drone.
Like, yeah, especially
that's a lot of money. Say that again?
Yeah. I said, like, especially if they know you're flying a Mavic 3, they know that's a $3,000 drone. I mean,
correct. And think about it. Dre do this for a living. Al Diaz do this for a living. When they fly, they don't fly Walmart pieces of crap, you know what I mean, drone. They're not flying no Hubsan Zeno or no other bullshit drone. They're flying from, you know what I mean, some DJI, an Autel Evo, high quality, you know what I mean, drone for mapping and this and that. You know what I mean? So again, this is, man, my advice to you, Paul, hey, I'm not here to tell anybody how to run their life, but if I was you, I will fight it. And like JSK went ahead and said, and everybody else, I believe that ticket will just be thrown away just like that. Because again, you know what I mean? It's like, according to what you're saying and everything you pointed out, is the law is actually in your side. And he can't just cite you some bullshit that he just pull out of his butt. You know what I mean? He have to
Yeah.
come and prove that you actually did what you did. And again, I'm still trying to find out how the heck did he clock you that little drone at 90 miles an hour?
He didn't clock me.
He didn't. No, I guarantee money he didn't because he wouldn't know how.
And I understand it, but according to the ticket, he said that he was going 90 miles an
Like
hour.
I say, he and that's the same. What he wrote, like I say, what he wrote in the ticket would be the main thing that would hang him in court. But that's why I said you question his qualifications to make that observation. And he has no qualifications to make that observation. And just like Al said here, the speeding, there's no way he can test the speeding. The question is how did he consider what you were doing reckless? Like I said again, he's saying flying too close to the boats. I don't know what boat you passed, what boat you went over, passed up, or what the case may be. What made it reckless? My thing is you'd actually need someone else, a third party, to say, hey, that guy with the drones, is making us a little nervous here or unsafe here because we're not sure what's happening. Then at least he has a third party to say, hey, I'm getting complaints about your flying activity out here and it's making the boaters uneasy. But he didn't write that in the ticket. That's what I'm saying. What he wrote on that ticket is based upon his own observation. I don't know. Was he in the water on a boat or something? I don't know.
Yeah, he was.
He's on the land. He's on a boat with you. And I got to say, okay, based upon what observation, because like most of the time when I was an officer, they always told us our peace cannot be disturbed. In other words, people call for noise complaint. We can't be the complainers. So we hear a loud party. It takes the neighbor next door, across it, whatever, to actually call before we can intervene because our peace can't be disturbed. And I'm saying here, as an officer, unless he can say something that they had to take some kind of emergency maneuver to avoid your drone because they felt, you're going to hit them or they're going to hit you. But like I said, he didn't write that in the ticket.
He didn't say that to me either. He said, in his opinion, it literally, in my opinion, it was reckless because I told him.
Right.
I told him I was flying safe.
And that's what I'm saying, that your opinion, because like I said, the law is based upon certain elements that constitute a violation.
Not opinions.
Of section, okay?
Not opinions.
There you go. Not opinions. It's all about, did you do this? Did you do that? Which is a violation of this in this section of the code.
And another thing, Dre, you can't just write me a ticket because in my opinion, I believe you were doing this, and that. No, you gotta quote me you gotta quote me the law. You gotta tell me what the hell I did before you even go any further. You can't just say, you know what, Adrian? I thought I seen you in the corner stealing candy. Boy, did you actually see me? No, but I think you did.
No, he spent a half hour on the phone trying to figure out what he was gonna write on the ticket. He took my ID for a half hour on the phone trying to figure it out.
Paul, listen, bro. Hey, man. I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawyer. You know what I mean? I'm not a college graduate. I'm not the smartest cookie in the jar. But, bro, I know you said you're not going to be in New York by the time it's time for you to leave. I think you have a valid case for that to just be ripped off and just say, hey, have a good day. Sorry this happened. Blah, 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 blah. And you probably could go ahead and, if you – did you and that guy by any chance got into a back and forth match and he just got a little, you know what I mean? He felt like you know more than him and he just want to use his authority.
He became immediately on the offense once I told him that I could fly close to the water. I wasn't violating any laws by flying close to the water. And I was just giving him a fact. I wasn't trying to give him a hard time. I was just telling him that, no, I'm not violating any laws by flying close to the water.
And by the way, according to the law, which this is something that I actually wrote. Thank you for pointing that out, Adrian. And I'm sure you know about that too, Dre, and a lot of people in the chat. If you are allowed to fly your drone 100 miles an hour or less, that's according to the FAA. I read it because I'm studying from a Part 107. And I read that part. You are allowed to fly under 100. Now, if you go over 100, now you're breaking the law. But
And the-
under
and the
100, you are legally allowed to do that.
And the DJI FPV will not do
It will
over
not go
100.
100. It will not go 100. I don't care if you have it in manual or sports mode. It will not go 100. It will not.
I've had it 99.7. That's the max it'll go.
Now, somebody also want to hear and ask.
Like I say again, this is how you have to attack his credibility, is be able to show proof of what the capability of the drone does and what it can't do. And like I said, we all know the drone can't fly over 100 miles per hour. So that's another fact on your side, that how can you say I'm doing 90 or over 100 miles per hour when the drone is only capable of doing this? And I guarantee you, I was not even flying it. That's where you break out the flight record and say, this is what my flight record shows on this date at this time. It shows this is my altitude. This is the speed I'm traveling. This is the direction I'm going. So once again, it's not about, in other words, you're not going to go in there and say, prove that the guy is an idiot. You just got to prove that he wasn't qualified to write
I'm going to question his authority in the situation. He didn't have any.
Well, like I say, that's what I'm saying. You get to question his credibility, which is his authority. He has no. Basically, you bring all the proof on your drone of what it can do, what it can't do, flight logs, proof of what you were actually doing at the time, where he observed or whatever. So this is what I'm saying, and like you said, not a speed ticket, it's a reckless flying ticket. Like I say, that's if he's not qualified under FAA, how does he determine what reckless flying is? That's what I'm saying. That he has to put in about people having to take evasive maneuvers to avoid your drone because you were just out there cutting other boats off, what the case may be. These are the things that got to come out in court for him, because this is what he's telling you. And like I say, what's on the ticket doesn't support anything at all. It doesn't support his authority, doesn't support his observation. None of it does.
Okay. So Paul, technically, this ticket's supposed to be for flying reckless, not the actual speed.
Yeah, but that's he's got that's the code. That's the only code he can come up with. But he was saying he was going to be going 90 past.
Wait a minute. Somebody want to let me know what you're talking about?
Okay. Now, we're gonna catch you up to speed in a minute. Matt. So what happened is that Paul actually went ahead and came into the chat and said, Adrian, today I got a speeding ticket for flying my drone. Hold on. What? Wait a minute. For flying my drone. Now, at the end of the comment, he put LVL. I thought maybe he tried to put LOL as a joke. I thought it was a joke, but he actually got a freaking speeding ticket for flying.
Did you hear that? Paul Regenbolt got a speeding ticket today for flying his fucking drone.
Hey.
A speeding ticket.
Listen, Matty, let Paul go ahead and tell you. Go ahead, Paul. Tell him.
All right, hold on. All right, go ahead. Explain.
Go ahead, Paul.
All right, so I had a cop come up and tell me to land my drone today.
He was in the school zone.
And he gave me a ticket.
Yeah.
I was flying my FPV, gave me a ticket, and on the notes on the ticket, he said he observed me flying the drone 90 miles an hour close to the water.
So what's the problem with that? The legal limit is 99.9.
But the thing is, he said that I was too close to the water. I had to fly higher.
And he don't run the airspace anyways.
I tried to explain that to him. That's why
bro, a judge is going to toss that in a heartbeat.
Calm down, gentlemen. We got somebody who used to work in that area.
Hi, Tom.
Hey,
by the way, real quick before you start, can I have a couple people say hi?
Sure.
All right, we got Sergio doing my tattoo. We got Ken Hillfeller, place to
Hey,
hear.
Ken, what's up, buddy?
We got Michael Fly Zone Drone.
What's up, Mike?
We got Chris, Have Drone Roll 5. And we got Barkley, 107 Drones.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? Now, hey. What the hell is Maximo? Where's Maximo?
Oh, he's downstairs sleeping in our hotel room, bro.
Hey, can I ask a question?
And there's Troy from Big Water UAV Solutions.
Hey, man, how you doing, buddy?
Troy.
Can I ask Matty a question?
Yeah, what's up?
Go ahead.
Matty, it seems like there might be some public health laws being violated in that room right now. Just saying, okay, dude.
Hey, he's certified, brother. That's all I care about.
Pass a slice, will you?
Okay.
Okay, now go ahead, Paul. Explain to Matty.
Well-
Go ahead.
We had an issue today with the cops too. I'll explain it after he's done.
Yeah, so basically the cop was salty because I told him I could fly close to the water. And then he decided to get on the phone with his supervisor or whoever and spent a half hour trying to figure out what to write on the ticket. So he gave me what he calls reckless penal code, which has nothing to do with flying a drone, and says in the comment, it says it right here. It says observe. Observe. Observe flying drone 90 miles per hour near water or above the water level.
So we had
You
a
have flight logs, Paul, right?
Yeah.
Paul, were you doing 90 miles an hour? I doubt it.
At some point I probably was, but I wasn't
Probably.
violating any law.
Yeah, but that's all GPS, right? The log contains, what drone was this?
The DJI FPV.
Oh, you got complete logs.
yeah.
Complete
Yeah,
logs, and you can map those GPS coordinates.
We had a Forest Service Park. What was he? A Forest Park District police officer showed up at the meetup today at the Midwest meetup, and I think there was like 21 people or something like that. And the first thing the guy said when he got out of the car, he was all jacked up. He had his bulletproof vest on, gun, the whole 9 yards. Camera going. And the first thing he said when he walked up to the group was, "I need to see permits, 107 licenses, and insurance proof."
And you're being recorded.
That's exactly, and you're being recorded. That's exactly how he said it.
For what?
For flying in a public park.
Wait a minute. In a public park that you cannot fly legally.
Yeah, of course. The guy, he was uneducated, bro. So, Barkley 107 drones?
Yeah.
This guy carries around an entire freaking booklet of all FAA laws, regulations, and everything, bro.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And he pulled it out,
Education
and he
is key.
gave this guy a 20-minute freaking spiel on laws and regulations, and kind of educated the guy. Because the guy said, "Look, you guys need to pack up, or I'm gonna start writing tickets." So, and he said, "You got to have a 107." He's looking for insurance information. All over the fact that people were flying FPV drones. And he said, "I have to talk to my sergeant." So he talked to his sergeant, and the only thing he made us do was move the race gates from the open field to the actual AMA field that was close to us.
What?
It was a compromise is what it was. But when this guy first walked up, he was pissed. Like, he walked up with his shit swinging. Like, it was wild. But the guy wasn't educated. He had no idea the rules.
That's the key, man. That's the key. Is education.
Yep. And that's what they did too. Barkley explained it to him in a nice manner, explained it to him in a professional manner, and the guy learned something.
I'm going to try to get this publication out if I can. I'll get it through Paul on U.S. drones. I'll get on.
Hey, Tom, can you speak a little louder? Because we can barely hear you, sir.
Yeah, my problem is I'm getting a lot of background. How's that? Any better?
Sounds okay.
The background noise, I think, is coming from Maddie's mic.
Yeah, can you feel that? Can you mute that TV real quick? It might be everybody talking. That's why.
Yeah. That
Listen,
too, yeah.
fellas, I have to go. I have to get back to the hotel. I'm on the road right now with Mark. I got to get back to the hotel.
It's hard when you got
gonna jump back in.
talking. When you got background noise, nobody can hear them.
Yeah, when I get
Yeah,
back
we're
to the
getting the
hotel.
feedback also.
Yeah, when you get back, go ahead and jump on in. We'll see you later then.
All right, fellas.
Hey,
Later,
drive
Paul.
safe, man.
So what did he say was written on the ticket? Reckless what?
So basically,
They're
it's something about.
eventually citing for reckless operations of the drone. Which, unless Tom can let me know, is there such a law in the state of the city of New York considering reckless operations of a drone?
Yeah.
Because he didn't cite
Where was he
the FAA
flying?
regs.
Where was he?
Flying.
They don't control their.
Still getting a lot of background.
I can't
Apparently he
hear
was
you.
flying. He apparently he was flying over some water area in the city, and then I
In
guess
where? New York
Paul
City?
said, I believe it was in New York City area.
Yeah, he said in New York. Yeah.
So I'm wondering, is there something in the municipal code in the city of New York that
Negative.
would
What it
cover
is, it's
such
an
Hey
application.
guys,
activity?
Adrian, I'm gonna jump off, buddy, because I'm in the middle of getting this done, and we're in here messing around, having some beers and pizza. So I don't want to kill you guys with the noise and all.
It's fine, man. If you
All
can't
right,
jump on
thanks,
later, come on
Matty.
in, man.
Yeah, I'll try and come back in.
All right, bro.
All right, guys.
Take care, man. Take
Hey,
care,
Mr.
everyone.
Andrew Silver Fox.
Okay,
Yes.
so again, Tom.
And like I said, I know.
I'm sorry, Dre. Again, Tom, when
No,
when he first Dre.
I don't care about the joke part. I want to get out to the facts. Tom, this is what happened.
And
He
that's
was
fine.
cited
Go
by
ahead.
an officer who says he was observed. He was observed flying a drone at a high rate of speed. The officer said he clocked him over 90 miles per hour without no radar or anything like that. And then he says his activities was reckless, and that's what he eventually cited him for, was reckless operation of a drone. So
Okay.
first he tried to say he was flying too low to the water. Then he was flying too close to the boats. And an officer himself was on one of the boats. So I'm not sure what took place, because I don't think Paul might have noticed the officer was out in the water, and what he was doing dodging between boats, I don't know. All he said was he was skimming along the water with his drone, and this officer approached him and says, "Hey, you can't be doing that." So there's still some gaps in the information of what actually took place. Paul's biggest thing is that he's upset, obviously, but I told him what he could do to fight this. We all got that laid out, but he doesn't want to take the time to come back after his vacation and have to fight this, and that's going to be the problem. Because you let this ride,
there's a couple
all
of
he's
ways.
going to
I mean, if it's New York, there's
Okay.
a few ways you can handle it. So he was cited for what? 9113?
No, he was cited some section out of a New York penal code.
New York State Penal Code, because New York City doesn't have their own. They have administrative law. So
Right.
9113 is careless or reckless operation. It's a federal CFR 91
Right.
13.
Right.
Okay, that's
Of
reckless
aircraft.
operation. Okay.
Right.
It can be reckless operation in air navigation, I mean, but New York has an navigation law. So that would be, you can't land or take off from, okay? You can't fly within the confines except for 5 chosen areas, all that nonsense. But the issue here is if they cited him for reckless endangerment, that would be a New York State a penal code. That can be a misdemeanor. They wrote him a ticket instead of a what's called a DAT, desk appearance ticket. They wrote him a summons.
Yes.
They didn't
he was
make an
given a
arrest,
summons
right?
to
They
appear.
wrote a summons.
No.
Notice to
They
appear.
wrote him a summons to appear. Right.
Okay. So normally on a desk appearance ticket, they're going to take you into the precinct and issue you a desk appearance ticket. A summons is going to be issued in the street. Of course, the summons is going to carry less weight. But I'm trying to figure out what he might have gotten cited for in New York State. But what he should do is one person I would have him reach out to would be he should reach out to Ryan Latourette.
True.
He's an activist within our community regarding drone laws and issues that come up with the courts and with law enforcement. So I would highly recommend that he gets in touch with him. He's very active in all our communities. So I don't see him in here, but right now, but he bounces around a lot. So I would definitely reach out to him.
Right.
The other thing is education. I mean, that's a big thing. If you get stopped, like Maddie was saying, they got stopped in at their meetup. Somebody
Right.
was gung ho and all. You know, luckily there's somebody there that's knowledgeable. It's how you approach everything. It's just like the Karens out there. I mean, you know, there's two pamphlets I want to try to make available to people. They're out there, but I'll try to get the links to them for you. It's titled "What Are You Doing with That Drone?" and it's actually two separate handouts. It's one for the public. If somebody from the public comes up to you, you can hand it to them. And the first thing it basically says is, "Hey, for everybody's safety, you got to let me land my drone and focus on what I'm doing before we have a discussion. And while I'm doing that, why don't you take a look at what's in here?" And for law enforcement, it's actually giving them all the information that they need or they should already have and should have already been called down in training bulletins within their department. So
Right.
those are a couple of things that, one, educate whenever you get the opportunity. But in Paul's situation, he's got to decide, was there a fine levied or he has a notice to appear?
He has a notice to appear.
And did they have a date or he
Yes,
has to contact for a date?
I believe he has a date. That's what he said. He's not coming back down. And I said, well, you're going to lose. No judge is going to automatically advocate for you. He's going to say that you didn't show it, and you're going to lose.
I don't know where Paul resides, so I don't know how
He's out of Connecticut.
If he's in the metropolitan area, it will serve him well, especially if he transits through the metropolitan area with great regularity, because you don't want to get pulled over.
Yeah, have
3
a
years
warrant
from
for your
now.
arrest. Right.
And then, there's a bench warrant.
Right.
They're pulling you out in front of your kids.
Right. That's right, because you failed to appear, and that's not cool.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying that, I know there are quirky laws in every state, every county, every city. And sometimes we're all not educated ourselves on what those little small municipal codes or whatever you might want, administrative codes are. Like I said, that's why I defer to you, because I know there are some tricky areas in the New York City places where you can fly some places, but you can't fly others. And evidently I guess somebody said he was flying at Lake Gregory or something like that. That ring a bell to you, Tom?
Lake George?
George, yes, George. That's the thing, George.
Well, that's upstate, and that is New York State. And that would be either New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, New York State Troopers, or New York Park Police. So you got a whole slew. And, if it was some county guy or some local township guy out for a buzz, it could be one of a half a dozen other communities that surround Lake George.
Right. And like I said, I guess this
it wasn't New York
kind
City.
of blew up.
Yeah.
No, like I said, that's what I said. There's some holes in information. As more stuff is coming through, like I said, we got to fill the gaps in and find out exactly who's who and what happened. Because Paul later said that once he tried to educate the guy, the officer came more aggressive and more upset. And that's how he went back, had him there for half an hour.
You asked for a supervisor.
Yeah, well, that's what I said.
You calmly ask for a supervisor. See, this is what a lot of people don't know. If you ask a police officer for a supervisor in a situation like this, they're bound to at least make a radio call to see if there's a supervisor available.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of times, like he said, he tried to explain to the guy, but you know how it is. Sometimes you they're talking about what happened in Chicago. The guy came out Barney Five style, ready to write tickets and kick over the curb. But lucky somebody with cooler heads prevailed.
Similar to the chili and the beans. No,
beans.
The beans have them.
Sorry, guys.
Is that what chopped up hot dogs?
Yeah, we're having chili dogs. New York chili dogs.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Bro.
Is that Charles? But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes if you come off, even though you may not intentionally come off as being aggressive, officer can maybe take that as you being aggressive. And now it's about who swings the bigger bat.
Look, here's the real problem here. Okay, somebody's got to take Paul to the side and tell him he just missed his golden opportunity for a viral video. Okay.
Yep.
It's just like if Maddie comes back on and I hear not one of them recorded that whole interaction, I'm gonna be like, come on, man, you gotta, it's coming to the point where you gotta wear a body cam.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Maddie case, the guy said he was recording it.
Well, you know what? If the law enforcement officer is wearing a body cam, make note of that, by the way,
Yeah,
because you have a right to call that
yeah, that's
into
right.
discovery
Uh-huh.
if need be. Okay. And I was serious, peeps, about hey Chris, how are you, bro? I was serious about, you know, Ryan. Ryan is a great activist, and if you just don't know him, okay,
Yeah.
check him out online. But he's a great activist within the community. He's been pretty responsible for getting some of the preemptive laws passed, where states are coming out and saying to all their local townships and hundreds of, you know, counties and all that, they can't pass their own individual drone laws. Okay.
Right.
And they can't infringe upon national airspace. So, you know, these are things that he's got to turn around and he's got to pull his logs. And of course, now by pulling his logs, anything's discoverable if he's going to introduce it.
Right.
And, you know, hey, I'm an FPV flyer. We normally fly at 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. But here's my GPS during that time. It was over a sparsely populated area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And like I said, there's a lot of small details that are not brought up. Like you said, I wasn't sure where the location is at. Like you said, this could be any number of local or state or county officials for law enforcement side of the house who issued this, and we don't know the exact laws of that area.
Right.
So without having that information.
In New York City, it's illegal to take off of land any aircraft, which includes a drone now. Making matters worse, violations of that administrative code, which we'll jot down for future reference, is 10.126 subsection C, is punished as a misdemeanor. So, you know, folks, we got to be cognizant of this. You know, a speeding ticket is one thing, guys, and I don't know that if he got a speeding ticket for his drone, whether it counts against his auto insurance or not, okay, his premiums. But a speeding ticket is one thing. A misdemeanor is a completely different thing. Okay? Just go felony speed and see. You're treated a whole lot different, you know, if they clock you at 110 on a 55 mile an hour road, you're not going to be treated the same way as going 65 or 70. But, you know, again, we don't know the specifics of it.
Yeah, so like I said,
what
hopefully
about that remote ID shit, huh, folks?
Well, that's what we were talking about originally when this all came up, and I was just telling them that, you know, there's two sides to every coin. I was not happy of the approach of race day quads trying to use the Fourth Amendment side of the coin. I felt that was a poor choice. They should have went with,
it was a stab in the dark.
Safety. Yeah, I felt they should have went with operator safety. And you're potentially endangering those who operate drones from those who may have any kind of grudge. I mean, I can look at the headlines. You know, we got guys getting stabbed, giving speeches. We got guys going to the FBI because the president's house got raided. So I might say, you know, there's a need for protection of people who are doing things recreationally, people who are doing things commercially, who have nothing to do with these individuals who may approach them. And that's why I'm saying this is why you have to have certain guidelines or basically keep this information out of the hands of those who may have malicious intent. And that's what my concern would be more than anything else. Those who have malicious intent, regardless of who, what, where, and why.
Yeah.
And you just have to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
The only problem is, you know, being judged by the few here. Those that live outside the bell curve, okay, that cause us 99% of the problems, right? Okay, so you know, we are all ambassadors, okay, but I'm also not my brother's keeper.
Yeah,
safe operation is a responsibility we all have.
Right.
Driving the speed limit is not a recommendation; it's actually state law. You choose to do it, or you choose not to.
Right.
You know, do I drive the speed limit? Guys, it's very popular these days. I'm going to take the fifth on that one, okay? But the thing is that, safety has to be key here. If you drive unsafely, then you're not being responsible.
Right.
Interpretation of what driving safely is open. It's pretty well open. I think everybody in Vegas can't freaking drive, too. I don't know what it is. Okay. But the good thing I like is when it rains, they all pull over to the right so I can get everywhere a lot quicker.
Just don't wait for it to snow.
Yeah, no, I've already been in a snow squall in Vegas. So if you think society screwed up, no, I think the climate is. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we have
Well,
we have snow squalls in Vegas. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
But see, I'm a New Yorker. If it hits the ground and it melts right away, I don't really call that a snowfall.
Right.
Okay? A snowfall is it fell in place and accumulated. Here, it doesn't do. Although, I can drive 30 minutes away to Mount Charleston, and that's, 11,000 plus feet up. So I can go play in the snow and then come back to Vegas where it's 73 degrees.
There you go.
So now,
Just like me.
I just made a purchase with the wife yesterday. We just happened to be out shopping and we spotted Friendly Hobbies in Henderson, and we stopped in. Really nice spoke there, and I walked out with a Traxxas sledge, 1/8 size monster, RC car, but 4-wheel drive. So she was the one who prompted this. Well, she wants a full size ATV for the desert, right? So, and you know what? I just let her drive the pickup truck in one of the dry lake beds. So now, of course, she's going to be driving this thing in the dry lake bed. I'm going to follow her with. She told me I could follow her with the drone. So
now, guys, going back to what we were talking about earlier, Dre. So basically, you said that if Ray State Quad would have went taking another route with the lawsuit, you think that it would had a better chance of them, you know what I mean, winning?
I personally would have had. Well, there was not a win-lose.
Yeah.
This is not going to be a win-lose deal. The whole premise of this was, can we get the existing law altered? That was the whole change. Get the language altered a little bit to relax or at least mitigate some of the information that was already placed in the law. The law has been written for about 2 or 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. And this lawsuit was about trying to change some of that language within the law to not have this information transmitted or be able to be accessed by anybody who decide to want to access it. There was never a problem with law enforcement having access to it, federal government having access to it. It was just the fact that people were not happy about average Joe Blow having access to it in real time. That's the critical part. That's what I'm saying about pilot safety is this is real time information. This is not like, okay, I flew last week and now he finds out about it. And now he's going to go out there and look for me. Well, that's last week. This is real time. So if I happen to be within a certain distance of this individual where he can make it to me within about 5-10 minutes, there's a good chance I might still be flying.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was saying earlier, Dre, is that, again, I've been watching a lot of people that post in video like Russ and everybody else, Geeks Bond and everybody about, you know what I mean, this remote ID. So basically, like you just stated, they will actually know, again, in real time where I am at.
Right.
And even how fast my drone is going according to what I keep, listening and reading and looking up.
I don't know. They'll get that much of telemetry, but
they're going to get some information. They're going to get some information regarding your whereabouts, and that's the big problem, right? We all drive around with license plates on our vehicles. That doesn't mean me as John Q. Public, while I'm driving, I can report that license plate. Okay.
Right.
There's plenty of cases of that because the person's doing something. But what I can't do is look up their home address. I can't look
Right.
up their driving record. That's
Right.
privileged information. And
Right.
and to be honest with you, police officers can't look that information up either without
Correct.
cause. If they
Correct.
do, it's no longer admissible. But
Right.
now you have a situation where it's going to say, hey, that drone that's flying in the sky right now, the operator is located 370 yards north by northwest, and his name is so and so. Excuse me, I don't think I signed up for that. Okay.
Right.
And the bigger problem here is here's what the lawsuit did. And Lenny, to address your issue, okay, yes, it was to benefit FPV pilots because they were an FPV organization, but it would have they were looking to address it as a whole community. Okay. So it would have impacted, they wouldn't have had separate rules here versus here. So I
Right.
think the situation really was approached wrong because, as Dre said, it was a direct safety impact on others not participating. And that's not the way you ever approach the FAA or the bench.
Right.
Okay. Now you'll have it. I have experience from writing COAs, certificates of authorization requests. And if you don't approach that right, I mean, first COA submitted, didn't get approved. Second, third didn't get approved. We had to change our approach until we had the right approach on how to submit it, and then it was accepted. And that's, I believe, where you were coming from, Dre, is they should have taken this from another angle. They should have taken it from forget about the safety of, and not forget about it. Don't discount it totally. But remember that the person flying the drone is a law-abiding citizen until proven otherwise.
Correct.
Don't subject that person to unnecessary risk.
Right.
But some cops do, Tom, and they do.
No, the public does as a
Some of them
whole.
literally abuse the badge.
Well,
Well,
there's no
that's-
doubt. Look. I don't want to get into a debate. I've got family.
No,
and a job.
there's no debate. I'm
Okay.
just saying, and that is true. I'm debating.
saying I'm not disputing that. What I'm
Okay.
saying is that's not the whole community.
Of course
Okay.
not. Of course.
And this is why education is so damn important. Because I'm sorry, if you're educated and you step out of line, smack, and you don't belong there. Okay? But they're not educating. They're not educating these cops regarding these laws and how they apply and the various risks it puts us at. I mean, you get a Karen complain that we were peeping on her, and the cops coming up with a whole different approach to us. Not realizing that drone photography is completely legal. It's protected under the First Amendment. Okay?
Yep.
Just like if I take a camera and you're in public view and I capture you on that image, the only thing I can't do with that is use that for advertisement without a release and your compensation, or a release from you without compensation if you choose not to accept any. But
Right.
otherwise, I've shot that in public view. You are in public view. You do not have any right to privacy when you're in public. It's just like you can photograph the cops, and
Now-
you should. Okay.
Now, Tom, now Paul, they went ahead and mentioned that he did try to educate the cop, but he didn't want to hear it. So
Once you know, and the right thing to do in that case, Adrian, you get a cop coming off you the wrong way, back away, let him do what he's going to do, because he's going to do what he's going to do anyway. Let him write you. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, you have a good day, and you walk away from the situation intact. Okay, because you don't know if that guy has his head screwed on right or not.
and you're absolutely right, Tom. So, like you said, educate.
Attempt to educate, and
And even if we try, like for example, I've been stopped before as a serial holder. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I actually got stopped 4 times by the same state trooper in the same day. And each and every time he stopped me, Tom, I was literally, yes, sir, no, sir, here it is. Have a good day. how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Real nice and calm. Never once did I raise my voice. He didn't either. But my thing is that the first time, I was fine. Second time,
the guy was either blind or that he didn't notice. I mean, you know, cops are paid to be observant. They're trained to be observant. If he doesn't know the same car, okay, that he's pulling over each and every time, he's putting his palm on the back of your truck each and every time. He ran your plate while he was pulling you over. If this guy doesn't remember that he just pulled you over 20 minutes ago, then you got other issues, man.
Actually,
you got to find another route to work, dude.
Actually, when it comes to that time, that wasn't even my personal vehicle. That was actually my work truck. Now, again, when it comes to a city holder, state troopers or DOT do not need a reason to stop me. They could stop me anytime.
For anything whatsoever.
So basically, he was just trying to stop me for being overweight. But when it comes to my truck, I will never have that problem because
he was trying to. He thought he was going to catch it at some point.
He thought he would catch me overweight each and every time. But the first time, again, we talked and it was cool. As a matter of fact, Tom, after that, each and every time I see him, he just waved at me. He just waved, and if he see me somewhere, he would come in and shake my hand and tell me, "Have a good day." You know what I mean? And matter of fact, he actually became one of my good friends now.
Well, see, this is a problem, and people have to realize.
Hey, brother AC, John Doe, how you doing, buddy?
If you're driving CDL, okay, they got you by the short hairs. It's a difficult life, especially long haul. I mean, it's a difficult life over the road. And truck drivers don't get enough respect. You got a CDL. You got to. I mean, people don't realize you got to take a completely different approach.
Of course, yes.
When you're operating,
you cannot start mouthing off to a state trooper or DOT. They will eat you alive.
That's your livelihood. He pulls your ticket, man. You're not earning.
Tom, let me put it this way, sir. For everybody that does not know nothing about CDL, I've been driving for a very long time.
Yeah.
State trooper, when you have a CDL, state trooper and DOT do not have to have a reason to stop you. They could stop you at any time. And when it comes to a city cop or sheriff, county, they only have the right to stop you when you're actually doing something like speeding or, or something illegal. That's fine. But DOT can literally stop you to check your paperwork, check your weight, and they have all the equipment. They got the scale that will literally see how heavy you are on what tandem, on the front tire, the back. And I'm talking about, and if you start mouthing off, they will literally check every nuts and bolt on your.
Not only that, but they'll put you in a queue and get to you when they get to you. So look, if it's a state troop, the state troopers have right over DOT and commerce. Okay. And that's, they can stop you anywhere. They can put up a checkpoint anywhere. We're right by the border here on the not far from the California border. So on both sides of this fence, man, we got way stations on both sides. We got checkpoints on both sides, and then they'll throw up random ones, especially when they see out-of-state plates. But they're doing it a lot now with tour buses also. Yeah. I've noticed that they're requiring them to now pull in for weight checks as well.
Got a holiday weekend coming in the month. They're gonna be out in force on both sides.
Oh yeah, big time.
And West Michigan area just went ahead and made a comment. Let me go ahead and put it up so you guys can.
Yeah, I see that. Hey, I'm not disagreeing there because we don't know what happened. What I had said earlier, right? What I had said earlier was, he's got to pull. Paul's got to pull his logs, and if Paul pulls his logs and he wants to leverage those as his defense, you got to be careful and make sure it's. What you have in your logs is defensible.
It is what he says it is. And that's why I say, if you said you were not doing this and that and your logs will show that proof, that's solid evidence in court. It's not what the officer observed. This is what the actual log says.
Now, Dre and Tom, since you guys are more educated about this than I am, Al Diaz, they went ahead and made 2 comments. If he, when he go to court, well, the FAA will actually be notified about this.
In
Good.
all likelihood, only if the Leo, the law enforcement organization or the court calls them in or advises them. Okay, it doesn't. Oh, it's not an automatic
No.
because it's not necessarily an incident that involved damage or injury.
Right.
So one thing though is to just go back a half a step. Talking about his logs, right? So if the officer says, "Hey, I observed him operating recklessly and at speeds of up to 90 miles an hour, and he's flying an FPV and he was doing 90 miles an hour in his logs," and then the officer says he was operating recklessly within the area of obstacles that he could have caused grave injury, right?
Yeah.
Now he better make sure he's got complete intact video. Usually with FPV drones, you start that video at the beginning of your flight and ends at the end. If you're flying a camera drone, a lot of these have a tendency of just capturing some video clips here and there. So unless you're screen recording, you would have to be able to submit an intact video from start of flight to end of flight that showed at those points where you were flying at high speeds, you were nowhere near anything in that. In fact, that meant you were operating in a sparsely populated area. Okay. And the FAA, under their guidelines, if this was Class G airspace, now if he was flying in New York City, I'm going to tell you right now, that's Class B everywhere in New York City. Okay. We got 3 major airports: Newark, LaGuardia, and JFK. And then as you go out to the island, you got MacArthur Island.
Yeah.
So those are Class B airspaces. So don't make arguments there about airspace. But if he was up at Lake George, if I'm not mistaken, the great majority of that area is Class G.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
would be uncontrolled airspace.
He has stated that he checked theirs. He checked the airspace. It was good for him to fly. So I'm taking everything he's I'm taking on face value. Like I said, I can't take what he tells me on face value on how it flies. When he tells me, well, I was on the sticks, I had full control. You having full control does not excuse or eliminate recklessness. You could have been doing something, as they say, recklessness in one opinion, but you're saying you're in control. But as soon as you get to the edge to where you're not in control and you're out of control, that's where that fine line comes in.
It's a different situation.
It's a different situation. So my thing is, when you say you're in control of the sticks, my first question is, were you flying level? I don't care how fast you're going. Were you flying level? Or were you banking and swooping and all this kind of stuff? Were you coming across, other individuals, other vehicles, things of that nature? All that kind of nature comes into question. Just because you're on the sticks doesn't automatically just say you are not flying recklessly. And that's what I'm saying. These are the different things that your flight log will either prove or disprove. And that's why I told him, I said, if you want to fight this, which I recommend you, I would fight it. If what you're telling me is everything is on the up and up, I would say, okay, I was not flying recklessly because I was at XYZ AGL. I was not around other boaters. I was not aware of any boaters making any complaints about where I was flying or how I was flying, and I didn't endanger anyone. Okay, that comes to judgment and everything else. And like you said, anything he did is not required reporting to the FAA. It could be
not required at this point.
Not required,
guys. Sorry to interrupt you, but I do have to jump off because I got to go make dinner. If you guys are still on, I'll try to jump back on. Adrian,
that's fine, Tom.
Okay.
Appreciate it, guys. Everyone in the chat.
All right, Tom. Take care. So that's what I'm saying. That it's going to come down. That's why I said pull your flight logs. That's going to be the hard truth of what your drone was doing, how it was doing it, and at what speed, what altitude, all this kind of stuff. And that you can't argue. Like I say, your opinion how you're flying compared to the officer's opinion how you're flying, that's just, like I say, that's just opinions. You saying like I say, you're saying you're on the sticks, you can control everything. You know, it's just like me trying to tell a racing car driver he has control of it till he doesn't have control of it, and he's
Yeah.
into the wall. And then all you gonna say is, "Man, I was out there pushing it," and then you push too far, and that's where it's at. You know. Now getting back to, I see a lot of chatter and going on about officers. This is a strong reality that we may be facing when remote ID comes into full effect.
Oh yeah, I believe that too, Dre.
But my biggest thing on this is why it's important for you to have all your documentation with you at all times while you're flying. You know, I don't expect everybody to go out and wear a vest like I do. I don't expect everybody, to do other things that I may do, but you need to have your credentials with you at all times. Like I say, like the guy in Chicago, he's asking for, I don't know about proof of insurance, which is not a requirement. If you're a recreational flyer, you're not required to have insurance. Even as a commercial pilot, you're not required to have insurance. So that's neither here nor there, but it is a nice thing to have in case someone asks us, says, hey, here's my 107 card. Here's my insurance. Here's this. Here's my registration with the FAA. Boom, boom, boom. Now, where are we going to go from here? Because my thing is, once you start showing you have the basics there with you, the conversation 9 times out of 10 will go a different direction.
Yeah.
Because that'll show any officer that you have taken the steps, the bare necessary steps to make sure you're a legitimate pilot to be out there doing whatever you're doing, recreational or commercial, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Now, man, so far this has been a great conversation about that. And then again, I mean, this is some serious shit. Now, like this is gonna open a big old kind of worm. And at first, I wasn't really taking it that serious. I mean, because again, for a while, a lot of people were saying that, nobody's gonna have that, type of technology. Nobody gonna be hounding you. Nobody gonna be bothering you. But now,
it's always a potential. Even without remote ID, there's always a potential.
There's always an idiot.
Like I said, what I'm saying is always an idiot on our side, just as much as there's a Karen or a Ken on their side who just don't like the fact that there's a drone flying in their neighborhood, over their house, over the property, whatever the case may be, and they're going to call law enforcement. And I always tell people, most of the time, we get one person's side of the truth. Never get the full story. Even when we show up on scene, never get the full side of the truth. That's why we have to go talk to the other person. And a lot of times what happens is attitudes intercept information. Even though Paul says, oh yeah, I try to educate him, but I'm saying, okay, I wasn't there. So I gotta take what you tell me at face value, that you educated him and your tone was this, your tone was that. And then the guy went back to his vehicle for half an hour and tried to talk to probably 10 different people to find a section to write you up on.
Yeah.
Because my thing is, if that conversation about educating someone would have went the way we all think it should have went, I don't think the officer would have went back to his vehicle and spent a half an hour trying to find a section to still write you up for.
Yeah.
Because like I said, all officers have the discretion to issue a citation in most cases or issue a warning. And a warning is not official. It's kind of like an officer's grace. You might have done something wrong, maybe not, but you know what? I'm going to pat you on the head. You have a great day. And you know what? Be careful out there. Just don't, matter of fact, won't you just call it a day? And that way I don't have to come back out here and readdress this and walk away from it. Because like I tell people, my days out in the street, if I took the time to stop you, 9 times out of 10, I took the time to scratch you. Because I didn't want to wind up in federal court violating somebody's civil rights. Just like you're talking about the guy who was stopping you 4 times in one day.
Yeah.
That's borderline civil right harassment. Now, he's probably was the local PD DOT officer, where his main job is to stop commercial vehicles for violations like that. A lot of departments have them and stuff, or they'll work with their local highway patrol or whatever, and they'll have little areas where they just start stopping. Every commercial vehicle gets pulled over, boom, and they do a big old inspection on everybody that comes down that street. Been involved in those before, just like I've been involved with probation checks, even in and out my city. Oh, we're gonna go knock on doors, check on whoever to see if they're in violation of their parole or probation.
Yeah.
And stuff. We call that selective enforcement. So I know these things happen. I've done it as part of the tactics of crime suppression. Because if you're worried about the police coming to your door, you're gonna make sure you're not in violation of your parole or violation of your probation. You're gonna stay away from the knuckleheads. You're gonna do all these different things out there. And it's like you as a commercial driver, you're not gonna make sure you're not driving heavy. Okay, you're gonna make sure your tires are where it's supposed to be. You're gonna make sure your air pressure is where it's supposed to be. Everything else, and that's why I talk about the I don't know if you guys got to call it in-cab checks, the 6 or 7 in-cab test or whatever. How you check your brake lines and all that kind of stuff, your air pressure, air tanks, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all that stuff gets tested, and they can be tested at any given time. Commercial drivers can pull over just to check your logbook if you're a long hauler, just to find out how long you've been driving. Because you're supposed to fill out that logbook. So there's any given reason to pull you over if they want to, because they have the authority to do so, because they're trying to keep the roads safe. Because they don't want drivers out there driving tired, all that kind of stuff. So, like I say, law enforcement
driving illegally.
Right, as you're driving legally. So, law enforcement, unfortunately, is going to be put in a position where they're going to be the ones asked to intervene. My concern is I'd rather do with the law enforcement individuals than deal with some knucklehead. That's my whole thing. Because knucklehead's not going to be worried about what I got to say. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder and an attitude, and like I said, that's going a recipe for disaster. And that's
unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that is true.
So that's my biggest issue is I'd rather deal with law enforcement come out. At least I know I have a decent chance. Like I said, I carry my documentation with me. I guess that's what we tell people about these apps on your phone. Have the air map, UAV, all these different things on your phone, so you can say, hey, this is where we're at. This is Class G airspace, or if you are flying in controlled airspace, this is my application through ALOF or AirMap or whoever you went through, gave you my approval for Lance right there. It's right there on my phone. Because they send it to you, they give you approval to fly. It's right there, officer.
So basically, you're saying that we should have hold on a second. Chargolowski, what did he say? Adrian, do you know if the officer was acting independently or if he was responding to a complaint? I honestly do not know, Charles, and he didn't say that either. Right. I don't know. He didn't say that either. So hopefully, if he does jump back in, he'll be able to tell you guys that.
Yeah. So
but like I don't remember him saying that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, when you have all these different little things with you on your person, on your phone, like I said, I carry all my COAs and all my COAs are in my Google account on my phone, so I can bring them up anytime. If somebody wants to question my certain.
Hey, good night, my friend. Forsted Aero Photography. I'll see you later, buddy.
And that's what I'm saying. That have the bare minimum on you. Make sure if your drones are registered, make sure you keep a copy of that little small slip of paper that the FAA sends you, and I keep it in my case with the drone, so I know it's always there. Throw it in the case with the drone and stuff. So anybody question, they want.
I remember you saying, Jay, that part of your pre-flight, and you go out there and you check the area before you actually do a job, to make sure you look for clearance, any type of obstruction or anything of that nature.
Right. Mhm.
You also say that you either have it on a piece of paper or you even have it on your iPad where you actually log any like your pre-flight, or you check your maintenance on on the drone, what you're gonna do. You know what I mean? If you change a propeller, anything of that nature. Am I right?
Well, that's
And,
why I
and,
use the air data for.
that is a good idea to have as well.
Right. Yeah, that's just for your own personal use. But I'm just talking about when you're going to especially encounter local law enforcement, either it be police, state park officials, whoever, anyone who's in a position of enforcement of rules and regulations. These are the things that can actually turn people's attitudes, turn the tide in the conversation to say, hey, I have my trust card. I have my Part 107 certification. I have this. I have that. When I got here, I checked the airspace. I did this. I did that. If you're in controlled airspace, here's my Lance approval right here. All these different things. Because see, these are questions. If they may have, if you already got it, and you say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I got all of that right here. It shows that you came prepared to do what you're out there doing. You're just not some guy who just willy-nilly bought a drone for Christmas. Now I'm out here just whipping it around, And I always tell folks that is the difference. But like I said, when you approach people and you don't have nothing in your back pocket to verify your status, it's your opinion against their opinion.
Yeah,
And
unfortunately.
even though you might be 100% right. But like I guarantee you, if you pull out the documentation, they're gonna say, okay, this guy went through all this to have this certification, went through all this, checked the airspace, did all that. I'm pretty sure he's good to go.
Yeah. And that's like me driving my work truck there. You'll be surprised. Like when I used to drive over the road, my truck was always kept clean. And this has nothing to do with drone, but it also has to do kind of what you just said, to kind of piggyback on what you just said. Dre, even when I got stopped several times by DOT or state trooper, just the fact that they actually open my truck door, which they are allowed to do on a commercial vehicle,
Right.
just the fact that the truck was clean from head to toe, swept, all smelled good, all my paper was actually lined up, you know what I mean, in a folder, everything was kept nice. Just by them checking that alone, many times they actually went ahead and told me, have a good day, drive safe. Never even checked my paperwork.
Yeah.
Just the fact that I kept everything intact. And one, because he asked me for everything. He said, do you have this?
Right.
Do you have that? I said, right here. Do you have it? Right here. Do you have it? Right here. You have it. Right here. I said, do you need it? He said, nope. Have a good day. I'll see you later. Drive safe. He never even checked it. Just the fact that I proved to him that I have everything right here. He already know. You know what? This guy already know what he's doing. I'm going to let him go. But if I'm one of those drivers that say, you know what? I don't know where it is. I don't have it. My truck look like crap. Man, he gonna make you go through the ringer, because I've seen it before. I've seen that before many times.
And that's why I get on my little soapbox talking about our status of being pilots, regardless if you're recreational or commercial. You need to conduct yourself in a pilot mindset, just like man aircraft. A guy who drives a little Piper Cessna goes through the same checks, pre-flight, post-flight checks, as the guy who's flying Southwest Airlines. He has to make sure everything is checked on his aircraft. He has to make sure this and that, everything's done. He has to submit his flight plans to the tower. I said, these are the things that can make a difference when you're out there flying recreationally or especially commercial. And as I said, this is the mindset that helps us as pilots to have a better reputation. Because it'd be nice that there's always going to be complainers. There's always going to be a Karen out there is going to complain. But it's nice to show that whoever the officer comes out there will probably be in his mind, say, you know what, let me just go ahead and just talk to this guy. Probably a nothing burger deal. And let me just check and I'll be on my way. Go handle something a little more important.
And somebody did went ahead and actually, somebody in the chat actually did went ahead and say that they wonder if there were actually a complaint that was made, and somebody called the cops, and that's the reason why he came out. You know what I mean? Like you said, he made an assumption that you did X, Y, and Z. That could also be the case.
Right.
Like again, I've
No.
encountered a couple of idiots while I'm flying my drone legally, just taking a video, taking a picture. I mean, you know, and I try to stay calm, but sometimes, Ray, the way they approach you, it takes you the hell off. So it takes a lot of
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of willpower for you to just breathe and just chill and relax. But some people just know how to
Oh yeah.
push that
I mean,
to make you go off.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why if you have your paperwork, that you just throw it down on them. Say, hey, here's all my stuff. That way, it gives you a chance to cool off initially, and it gives them a chance to think initially what their next step or move is going to be. Because, like I said before, you know, that was something I kind of want to ask Paul, but I know he's a little wound up. Because my thing is, like, okay, Paul, did you show him that your drone's registered? Did you show him your trust card? Did you show the officer this stuff before you were trying to educate him?
Yeah.
Because I mean, that little bit right there could have been a whole difference in how the outcome of that could have been. Even though he didn't write Paul up for any of those things because the guy had no authority to charge him with nothing in that area. But my thing is, what steps could you have taken to alleviate that ending scenario where now you got a debate about making a trip back into New York State or New York City, wherever he's got to go to fight this ticket? Because now he's in a situation where he needs to go fight that ticket. That's where he's at now. Because like Tom's saying, by not showing up, it just compounds things. Because now you have a bench warrant with your name on it.
Yeah.
Simple as
So
that. Because
you
no show.
So,
like I said, he didn't get his.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I believe there's like a little. I believe there's like a little delay on your part, and maybe that's why. Go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that, you know, you don't want a bench warrant on your record, and like I said, and you forget about it, and you pop back in the state of New York, and for whatever reason, could be, you know, parking ticket to something else silly, and you get approached by law enforcement, and they run your name in the system, and now guess what? You get handcuffed, get sent directly to jail, and you have to get cited out because you have a failure to appear on your record.
I actually hope that he does go ahead and jump back in. That way he can actually clear, you know what I mean? Talk a little bit more about it. And like you said, Dre, he didn't look very happy. I'll tell you that much. Man, I honestly didn't even know we were actually going to be talking about this tonight, but it was a great conversation. I mean, you know, it's a great topic to go ahead and keep talking about. Again, Dre, I can actually, I have a feeling that this is actually gonna get worse before it get better, I guess. I don't want to say it that way, but what do you think? Hey, Dre, I lost you, so come on in when you can, buddy. We lost Dre. I think his internet cropped up on him. Guess I'm back by myself. One benefit of being a CDL driver is you are what? One benefit of being a CDL driver is you're taught in this truck driving school on how to act professionally with. That's right, JJ Drones. You have no other choice. And not just that, I actually learned a lot of that stuff on my own, you know, from many other drivers. Like you were saying earlier, or somebody said earlier, there's no reason to go ahead and get confrontational and argue with a cop. If you actually piss him off even more, now you're gonna make the situation a lot, you know, worse. So I just get to the point where if I'm the one that actually break the law, I will be very apologetic. Number one, hey, I was speeding. I broke the law. I'm either you know what I mean, just take my ticket, deal with it, and move on. That's pretty much it.
Sorry
Yes,
about
sir.
that. I got I got a house full of folks. Got 2 of the grandkids over tonight, so my internet's getting bounced.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Cause like you stuttering, and the next thing you know, boom, you just left.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's just,
Everybody, everybody
I know
probably on
what
the
it
computer,
is.
on the iPhone, on the iPad,
Dude, I got
Android. Everybody connected.
tablets. I'm pretty sure that the game system's running, the tablets are running,
Yeah.
every TV in the house is running and stuff. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I can't buy enough bandwidth to satisfy this house.
Say that again. You can't buy enough bandwidth.
I can't buy enough bandwidth for this house, dude. It always gets stretched so thin, no matter what I do.
I hear you. Good night,
Yeah.
Andrew Silver Fox. Have a good evening. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate that.
Yeah,
but
so
like
I can say, talking about Paul, I hope he calms down, thinks about it a little more, and just not what he's going to do for the drone community itself by fighting this, but for his own clarity and everything else. I mean, at this point, I really don't even want to dig into it anymore. I think he knows what occurred. He knows what actions he was doing and taking. And if the officer overstepped, he overstepped. But he needs to make sure he gets his name cleared more than anything else. That's just protecting himself, protecting his family by making sure he gets his name clear, because he does not want to be in a situation where he gets taken into jail just because they ran his information and it shows he has a bench warrant. Because that just compounds everything else. So, it's one of those things. Like I said, we don't have all the information, and we don't even know exactly where it happened at Lake George. And apparently, there's some different environmental rules or whatever. Who knows and stuff. But I hope he calms down and realizes this is a lot more at stake than about drones. This is about him, and the well-being of him and his family.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. I guess I'm a little lost for words. I mean, you know that in every story there's always 2 sides. You know what I mean? There's truth and there's somebody.
Well, like I said, there's always 2 versions of the truth.
Correct.
Not that one person's lying, but I mean, this is what he saw, what he felt he was doing. He felt he was not doing anything wrong. And this is the other side where the officer, may have firsthand observed, or it could have been secondhand information, which he's trying to, impress upon him. But like I said, when somebody tell me, well, I try to educate them, I'm like, okay, first thing for you to educate somebody, you need to show your credentials. Yeah. Just like we all had questions about anybody who trained us, we knew if somebody didn't have the right credentials, or we felt they didn't have the right credentials, we always felt like, how are you going to try to teach me something and you ain't nothing? It's just like, how is somebody going to teach you to drive a commercial rig who don't have their own commercial license?
Correct.
I said, no.
Correct.
You get somebody in here who's got the same qualifications as me.
You literally just went ahead and hit the nail on the head. That is right. How dare you try to teach me about CDL when you don't even have one? So you haven't even been through the part that I've been through.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, that whenever I get approached or whatever, and somebody questions me, the first thing I tell them, I am a certified pilot. This is my certification card. This is my CFO. They asked about, you're not allowed to fly here. I said, well, apparently I can fly here because here's my COA. Here's my Lance approval. In other words, I'm giving you all my qualifications of why I can be here legally. Yeah. Now we can talk about FAA rules and regulations, because now I've already established my credentials.
Yeah.
And that's why I was telling him, the officer doesn't have any credentials on this, because he can't justify the speeding. We have to question, how is he justifying the recklessness when he has no credibility on what he's trying to enforce? And that's what I'm saying. But as I'm saying, I need, those are questions only Paul can ask himself, because he know how the conversation went. We don't. And that's why I tell folks, establish your position as being legally and legitimately there wherever you're flying at and stuff. Instead of just quoting what the FAA regulates and that you don't regulate that, it's not going to cut it. You need to establish who you are and why you are legally able to fly there because you went through all the checks and balances yourself. So in other words, the person can't question your credibility. And that's what that's all about. The other person can't question your credibility.
That do make sense, and that is true.
Yeah. And that's what I said. When people approach me, that's the first thing I do. I say, this is who I am. Here's my business card. Boom. Here's this. Here's that. Okay, now you want to try to tell me something else? You know, I've already established myself. Now, what about you?
Yeah. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. Go ahead and smash that thumbs up on the stream. I really appreciate that. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, Mike Kenny in the house.
Yes, I did say hi to Mike Kenny. What's going on, buddy? He did get that DJI Mini 3 Pro. He's pretty happy with it. He's been putting out some great videos. He's been actually putting out some great content on it with it.
Yeah, I saw my first Mavic 3 today.
Sir?
I saw my first Mavic 3 up close today.
Oh yeah, did you by any chance got your hands on it?
Nah, man. I don't play nobody else's drones.
I
look at this stuff. I said, that's what it looks like, you know. And then I saw my first mini drone. I'm like, wow.
Wait a minute, you never seen a mini either,
dude? I got nothing mini. I can't even spell mini. So I saw my first mini drone today. I got a close up look at my Mavic 3 today, and I saw an Air 2S in action today. So I've had a big day.
I'll see you later, JJ Drones. Thank you for popping in, sir. Good night, buddy. Appreciate it. Hey, Jody Drone Shot, how you doing, bro? Now,
and I would tell you before I forget tonight, Angela told me to tell you, just make a date for her to be on the show. She will be.
Say that one more time.
Angela told me to tell you, just set a date for her to be here, and she will be on the show. Set a date.
Now, is she on Facebook as well?
Yeah, she's on Facebook. I give her information. Now, I'll give you a bit about her background. I've sent it to you. I don't know what happened in translation, but I'll redo it again. But she uses her drone along with her DSL camera. She does landscape photography, is what she does.
Okay.
Landscape photography. And that's what she uses her drone with, to do landscape photography. And
you send me her info through Facebook Messenger or via text? Because I'm looking.
I'm not sure how I sent it.
Because I'm looking and I don't see nothing about that person. No.
Hey, Johnny, I have not laid eyes personally on a V-copter yet. Like I said, you're one of the few people I know. You and Ken Hand, I guess, actually have one. So I guess I gotta come to spin up to see it.
One thing that I have to tell you, Dre, is that
what?
The Mavic 3 is a nice drone, but I'll be honest with you. Those legs are skinny like a big old fat cat with skinny legs. It's not shaped like the Mavic 2 Pro, the Mavic 2 Zoom, with a strong arm. They actually have skinny legs and a big old fat body. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what I saw today. I said, guy had it there today, and I'm like, I guess it looked nice, but I guess maybe when I fly one, I might be a little more. Yeah.
Have you ever seen those fishes where they have like small body but big old eyes? Did you see how big the freaking optical avoidance things are? Them things are huge, but they actually work, Dre. Them things really work. Now I've tried it before; they work.
Well, I saw one where.
By the way, that drone has 365 obstacle avoiding, up, down, left, right, and it's working every time.
I put it like this, Adrian. It didn't work today that well.
Well, I wonder if that person had it turned off. I mean, what the heck happened?
Like I say, I don't know. All I know, I was taking off my Mavic 2 Pro, and all I started hearing this. I'm like, wow, what happened? And it was on his back like a roach. I don't know.
Holy crap.
I don't know. I just chalk it up to inexperience, but you know they'll get there. They'll get there.
Yeah,
And stuff.
that is true, Mike Kenny. That was Cynthia Marone that was actually here. Her and her husband both have the Matriz 300, right, Trey?
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
that M300 and stuff. A pair of them, and she was supposed to be there today too, but she had to do a job up in Santa Barbara, California,
Yeah.
and stuff. So yeah, there's about 2 of them. There's one that works for. She's in Atlanta, but she does a lot of work in television. She wants to come on the show also, and everything. So I know I sent her her information to her. Her name is Miller. Last name is
You
Miller.
probably sent it to her, but I don't have it. So if you would please be so kind to resend it again, and then I'll go ahead and try to do it again.
Okay. Like I said, this set a date from the beyond. Most of them are waiting. I said, just give them a date. Don't ask them about when they want to come on. Just tell, hey, we need you to be on here on this date.
All right, tenfold.
And stuff.
Again,
And
send
stuff.
it to me. Matter of fact, I'm going to start setting the stream like at least 3-4 days before the actual show. You know what I mean? That way.
Well, that's what she said. Don't do that. Set it about a week in advance because she travels a lot.
Okay.
Set it about a week in
Tenfold.
advance.
That can be arranged. No problem. That can be arranged.
Yeah, Johnny, I was just as shocked, dude. I'm like, but I
Right.
chalked it up. The person who had it, Johnny, was new. I think he has a mini drone, and then he got this Mavic 3, and I think his inexperience was more the reason why it
That's what I
got
was
to
actually
trees.
going to say. I had a feeling because,
Yeah.
again, Dre, I literally took off with that drone right on my balcony. And, you know, when it take off, it's not like the Mavic Air, the 2 Pro, the Zoom, or the Final, where it will actually take off at a nice, about at least, 15, 17 feet up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mine, that one actually take off and it probably stays up like maybe 4 feet. You know what I mean? And even
Right.
at 4 feet, I actually went ahead and, try like on purpose, just flew towards the wall, the side, and it literally went ahead and it picked itself up and just went, you know what I mean, above the house.
Right.
I mean, again, everything worked. So I don't know what the heck that person was
Like-
doing to even go ahead and crash it.
Yeah, like I said, it was okay. This had some chipped up props on it. That was basically from the landing and lucky the landing was in some that little chipwood bark stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing got damaged on it, which is very fortunate. Yeah, but yeah, I just like I guess I have confidence in the drone. I'm sure it can fly quite well and everything. I was just kind of shocked that it couldn't figure out that tree.
Hey, that tree came out of nowhere.
It sure did.
Hey,
Came out of nowhere,
those trees are sneaky. They sneak up on you, Dre.
They will.
I know that
They
tree
will
went
harm
ahead and snuck up on me when I was flying that Mavic Air 2 and I destroyed that damn arm, but I fixed it. I got it back together.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
good
working
work, man.
perfectly. But yeah, Dre, if you could send me that info and I go ahead and set it up, give them a date, and again, they're gonna come in, great. We'll go ahead and get it set up.
All right. What time you gonna be on, Johnny? I gotta get up early and go do a job in Riverside tomorrow, but I don't know if I'll be up early enough to catch you.
Hey, Matt, Northeast Drone Production. I send you a link if you wanna hop on in for a minute, buddy. And he was saying that if it was in manual settings, again, I don't know. That was actually Dre's story when it comes to that one, crashing to the ground.
Yeah, Matt. All I know, Matt, I was focused on my drone, and all I know is this Mavic 3 just kind of slid across in front of us, and it was talking to the tree.
It was chopping the tree down, huh?
So it was chopping it up, dude. And it wasn't a very big tree either. So, like Adrian said, it should have been able to rise right above it and just kept going. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like I
because
said,
again, I've done that even with the tree that's literally right on my balcony, and it literally just start going up by itself. I did it on purpose to see if it would do it. and
Yeah.
it will not crash into anything. So far, it will not crash into nothing.
Right. So yeah,
I even went ahead and did-
I chalk it up
Go
to
ahead.
inexperience of the pilot. You know, the guy's fairly new. But the amazing thing is he's new to drones, but he went ahead and already got his 107. He went ahead and
Hold
got
on,
it.
he said what now?
He's got his 107 already.
And he, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell folks the 107 test is the more you know about drones, the easier it is for the test. But it's not that hard to pass if you study for it. You can get past it, and you don't have to have a whole lot of experience flying drones. So that's why tell folks just buckle down. I say give yourself a solid month, 2 months if you need it, and go take it. Just settle down and go take it. Get it out the way. If that's your desire. If that's your desire, get it out the way. Because like I said, this lady Angela, she's 107. She's been flying since 2017 and stuff, and she does it with her landscape business.
I do want to apologize to everybody because I'm about to bring this guy on. He's a Mongol, a jackass, a moron, a great pilot, by the way. He is a great pilot who makes amazing videos with his 1967 Mavic 2 Pro drone, all the way from Australia.
What's wrong, Matt? You look a little chilly over there, dude.
His 1967 Mavic 2 Pro.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Dre, I'm sorry, with orange stickers on it. He got orange decals on it.
I did.
Oh, wow.
I did.
Wow.
That it does a good job. I sort of had the show going while I've been getting ready for work. I've been listening to a lot of stuff there with the fine and all that sort of stuff for Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I just sort of came in the room and heard something about the M30, mate. What actually happened with that? Sorry, you've probably told me.
The Mavic 3.
No, Mavic 3, dude.
Oh, Mavic 3.
The M30 will be out tomorrow morning.
I was telling Dre, Matt, that when it comes to that one, it actually has that, I would say, almost like freaking 365 obstacle avoidance, with mine up, down, left, right, side. And I've literally tried to hit that drone against something and it will literally rise up, you know what I mean, before I even get close.
Yeah, A-Pass, something like that, yeah.
So, but Dre said today that when he saw what he was flying his Mavic 2 Pro, one went ahead and literally just started chopping a tree down. You know what I mean?
Mavic 2 Pro.
Yeah, flyer too.
No,
so
3.
I'm not 3.
Right, okay. And it surprises me that it does 365 degrees. That's 5 degrees past. That's unreal. Hey,
Okay. You know what? Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh, you don't miss a beat.
Maybe I misspoke,
You
dude.
don't miss a
Damn.
beat. You don't
You
miss
don't
a
have to
beat.
take the shit literally. Maybe I misspoke.
Oh,
they just don't listen to
Do you
you.
have to find the bullshit on everything I say for you to make fun of me? Everything, sir.
No, I was just reiterating, mate.
Okay, get to the point. Go ahead.
Making sure that everyone knew that. So that was so the Mavic 3 didn't pick up that obstacle. Is that what you're saying,
No.
Dre? Right.
yeah.
That's surprising.
Like I said, I wasn't flying it, but the guy who was flying it is fairly new. So I think it could have been zipping over a little too fast, and bam. It wasn't at high altitude. It was about maybe 15 feet off the ground.
Oh, so you weren't flying it?
Yeah, I wasn't flying it.
Oh, right. Okay.
You think I'd do something like that?
No, it would have been wrecked if you flew it.
No. You are thinking I did something like that. That's what I'm getting to.
He
You
did,
actually
Dre. He
thought
did think that he did.
I did something like that.
So
Yeah.
Dre, tell me, do you want me to kick him out real quick?
Kick him out of the room, please.
Yeah, okay, all right. Hold on.
I can't believe he actually thought I crashed a drone into a tree at 15 feet height.
Let me know when you want me to bring him in, Dre. Let me know.
You can bring him back now, man.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, sir.
I can't believe this mess.
Well, I can. I mean, you just got to look at some of your footage. It's totally believable.
Wait. Let me do this. You actually insulted his intelligence. You insulted his intelligence, sir. You did. That's why I muted you, because I
see
needed
some
to
of my
help you.
footage.
You insulted his intelligence.
I'm
Now you
muted.
need to
I want to hear some
apologize.
more.
Go ahead.
I want to hear some more of this jibber jabber. Mike, see some of my footage.
Yeah.
Apologize.
You ain't got to apologize. He's been doing. I have to admit, Matt's been putting down some good videos lately. I don't know
Amazing videos.
I believe it's Matt. Editing is doing very well, but I don't know who's flying. But the
And
editing
by
is
the way,
great.
and by the way, Dre, he always tells me and calls me Mr. 100%. I'm not participating, but I'm watching every video that he makes, every single one of them.
Really?
Mm.
Oh,
What did you think of it?
Here we go. Okay, all right.
No, I'm
Look,
just asking you, mate.
Matt,
That's all right.
stop with your questions. I don't need no questions tonight.
You don't like my questions, do
Adrian
you?
is not here. Leave a message. Beep.
Yeah. Oh, Miss Lynn's in the room. Hello, Miss Leanne.
Hey, Leon, Tony, how you doing? Thank you for popping in. I really
This
appreciate
is
it.
kind of late for you.
Mm.
Yeah,
So,
good to see you.
Matt, man, it's daylight over there. What time is it?
1 or 10 past 1. 10 past 1 in the
Yeah.
afternoon.
Sunday
Okay,
afternoon.
You going to your regular job, or you doing something else?
You see, he's got his casual collar
Yeah.
on.
He got his collar the wrong way. He going up instead of being down like a normal person. Okay, I got it. All right.
Yeah, don't talk to me about you with your flat brim like that. Like a normal. Mine hasn't got me sticker on it, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has that still got the tag on it too? That one?
Sticker on it.
Has it got the tag on it as well?
No.
Oh, just the special ones have got the tag on it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the reason why they want to bring him in, Dre. I apologize. I'm sorry. Everybody in the chat.
I listened to his show the other night. I should say last night, yesterday morning, whenever it was on. And so I listened to his little crew, his little motley crew that he brings in now and stuff. It looked like a bunch of hippies out of the 60s. I mean, JD sitting there with dark ass glasses on, and and Justin sitting over there with all kind of weird smoke coming out from behind his ears and everything. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Like
And you can relate.
Rerun the Munsters or something.
You can relate to any of that, Dre?
No, dude. No, not a bit. Not a bit. Not a bit. That's why I said I'll stay out of this one, man. And then poor Uncle Bill was trying to civilize you guys a little bit and keep y'all on the right track, but that didn't work.
No. We can smell that coming. It's a scent coming of sensibility, and we can smell it, and we knock that in the head real quick, you know. It doesn't happen. But you for a change, Adrian, you actually had a really nice show tonight with a difficult situation, and a scenario that really doesn't play out that often, as far as I'm aware.
No,
well, thank you, sir. Thank you. Well, hey, Matt, I do have an amazing co-host who's been late for the past 2 shows, but it's okay. I'll let it pass. It's okay.
Fashionably late. This keeps the audience in suspense.
Yeah, that's the catch. That's the catch.
Keeps the excitement up, doesn't it? Oh, when's Dre getting
you know how it is, Matt. You put the warm-up act up first, and then the headliner comes in.
Right.
I see where this is going. This is going the wrong way.
So you're the support act, Adrian. Ooh.
I guess so. Matt, is not my show. It's the Dre show.
Yeah, right. But seriously, Dre, how is that new one of yours, mate? The 30.
Well, like I said, I'm gonna take it out tomorrow on a small job. And I'm gonna actually do a mapping with it tomorrow, along with the Phantom, and just to see comparison. I know I'm gonna use this. If it allows me, I'm gonna use the zoom lens, because it's supposed to be zoom lens, supposed to be a 48 megapixel lens. The wide lens only at 12 megapixels. So I need to try to get something equivalent to what the Phantom can do. So I'm gonna see what's up.
Isn't that amazing how after all this time we're still looking for something capable of doing what the Phantom can do?
Yes, And that's what I was saying, that, you know, and like Adrian just had to experience this the hard way this last week. I said nothing's wrong with the Phantom itself as a drone. It's just now there's the lack of support as far as accessories to keep one functioning.
Yeah,
you know,
you're right.
He bought a bunch of batteries, and then he, you know, almost a third of them he couldn't use. Two of them were dead. Another one didn't fit right, wouldn't stay in the slot, wouldn't click in properly. All this kind of stuff. So I mean, it's almost like a crapshoot. You don't know if you're getting a good battery or a bad battery.
That's not good.
DJI, it's not good. So that's why I said I'm looking for something to be the replacement down the road, and that's where we're kind of stuck at.
And to be quite honest, I really thought that the Mavic 3 would have been that drone, and there is no reason why it shouldn't have been.
But
at that price range,
right.
Failing that, we're looking at, you know, obviously what you've just done too. Oh, and you know, of course, the old Inspires and all that sort of shit. But they're getting along in the tooth as well. You know, they're all getting on. We need a new drone that's going to be capable of doing that. And yeah, I was talking to Adrian during the week. You know, he had 2 of those batteries. And I didn't realize this though. One didn't fit.
No. See, when it comes to the those batteries, Matt, because they're actually the third. But let me back up a little bit. The original battery that came with it, you know, the DJI battery fits in the drone, you know, and real nice and snug. You know what I mean? Like it's really nice and snug in there. The other ones, even though I put them side to side, you know what I mean, left, right, they look identical when it comes to the size and everything, but once you try to put them in there, there's a lot of play, you know what I mean, a lot of wiggle room in it, so some of them are not clicking correctly, you know what I mean.
You can't be confident in sending that in the air.
No,
exactly.
You can't.
And then 2 of them were literally dead on arrival, like it won't even take charge, period.
Yeah
I literally went ahead and left two batteries charging for 24 hours. Not even a beep.
Ah, shit. Yeah. No, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Because it's coming to the stage now where the aftermarket batteries are going to be the only thing keeping those Phantoms in the air.
And that's what said, that there's no standard being set for those aftermarket batteries to meet. You got inconsistent fit issues, and that's not good. You can't be confident. Like I said, today I got a couple aftermarket batteries, and I'm flying my family today. Like I told Adrian, when I put it in, I get my fingernails on it and give it a slight tug out. And see if it's locked in there good. If it holds, I let it go. But sometimes I put it in there, and it'll come right back out, just like that, slight little tug, and it pops back out. I'm like, let me put it in here again, slap it in there, see if it fits. See if it catches real good, and I gotta let it go. I said it's not a real confident feeling. And when it comes back and land, I barely hit the tabs. That thing's like ejecting right out. That easy and stuff.
Shit.
So I mean, my thing is, if my drone, they'll say, got a little bit of turbulence or something, you know, something that jolted in the air.
Yeah.
I could lose power just that quick. Lose power because now it's been jarred loose for some reason.
Yeah, turns into a $2,000 brick.
Right, comes straight down. So that's what I'm saying. That, you know, I've been looking for a replacement for the Phantom for the last year or two, and I said I had high hopes for the Evolve 2, but those guys are still working the bugs out of that thing. And you know, like I said, I felt at the price range that would have been a good replacement. And he had interchangeable lenses, but they keep trying to, you know, work it, get the work right, I guess say. And I don't have much confidence in their product.
On paper, that Evolve is amazing, right?
Yeah, on paper.
Yeah, and that definitely, I was with you there, Dre. I was definitely looking at something like that. But as you said, it hasn't quite hit the mark yet. And this is what shits me about DJI, is that it works. Do you know what I mean?
That's
to
it.
A point. I mean,
right.
Yeah, we got the bugs and all that sort of shit that comes with the new drones and all that sort of crap, which they do iron out. But unfortunately, these drones work, and they work for a long time, you know, and they do their job for a long time. And there hasn't been a company. I mean, the Evo Pro and all that, it's totally different again, because you're still talking software shutters and all that sort of stuff. they seem to have got their shit together with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when we're looking at a workhorse, something with a mechanical shutter
Right.
that's going to be able to take that place. There's unfortunately that Evolve hasn't really hit that mark yet.
No. And
At that
like I
price
said,
point.
they're not reaching out to third party developers to ensure it works with Pix4D or Drone Deploy and Glitchy and all these other different things. They're still in house. They're doing bug we call it debugging in house still. And I'm like, dude, this thing should have. I mean, it's been 2 years in secret development, and you guys are still working on the debugging it.
Yeah.
You know? And this drone should have came out hitting a home run, or at least a standing double, and should have been ready to go to replace, especially at that price range. It should have been replacing the Phantom with ease.
At that price range, it's sensational.
Yeah.
You know.
Like I said, now I had high hopes for that, but like I said, when the M30 came out, I said, you know what, we may have to just lower the expectations on mapping in the future, because not everybody's going to have $25,000 to buy M300 with a P1 lens, which is another $12,000. So you might say you're going to spend 40 grand just to get a drone that can do mapping.
Yeah, they're taking away, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, they're taking away the capability of the everyday Joe to go out and make money with his drone.
Right.
It now becomes it was a wide spectrum previously.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting to the point now where the little guy won't be able to do it, and he'll be stuck doing real estate. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that'll probably be with a Mini. So, and that's what shits me is, it all goes with business and society all up. It's all about screwing the little fella, and the little fella will always lose. And it's the ones with the money that's going to be able to, and taking it obviously business wise into corporations and stuff where they can start making their huge amounts of money, and they've got the money and the backing and all that sort of thing to go out and buy 10 of them and go out and do some work, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And, you know,
it's like I say, it's sad that DJI has missed the mark over the last 5 years now, since the Phantom 4 series came out 5 years ago, that they have not been able to incorporate the standards of that camera in any of the last series of drones in the last 2 years.
No,
and like
right.
you say, we were all anticipating, hoping that the Mavic 3 would be that drone, and it didn't. And now they talk about an enterprise version with the same camera system that's on the M30T and the M300 with the H20T, basically the same payload. And I'm like, you guys are still missing the mark. You guys are still want to sell this multifaceted payload, but what we're looking for is just a drone that has the same specs as what's on the Phantom. And now they got a little, and you see the little advertising for this 3-prop thing that's supposed to have the Phantom battery in the bottom of it. And I'm thinking that this is what you're going to put the Phantom battery on this thing, you know, and we don't know if that's even just a prototype or that's something real, you know, because nobody's really said much about it. Everybody looks at it and says, ugh, what's that? Like something my favorite Martian showed up in.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, mate. I hear what you're saying.
So
and I've said it. I've said it before. I really would have liked them to put all of their efforts into one camera on that Mavic 3, and you know, it's a great image and a great camera, but it's just missed. And for the money, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't think.
And they're talking about the Inspire 3 supposed to be out within the next 60, 90 days, something like that. You know, been some secret leaked photos of it. I call it free advertisement for DJI.
Yes, dead right.
Yeah, that's about what it is. And I'm like, and even then, they're not. You know, you don't hear any specs about anything.
Yeah.
So, somebody said they anticipate it being like $20,000 for it. The Inspire 3.
There you go. There you go.
Like,
that's out of the price range of.
That's what I said. That's out of the ballpark for most people, man.
That's crazy. Crazy shit.
Yep.
Anyway, I've got to roll. Lovely chatting, fellas.
All right, man.
See you later, man.
You be safe on that road, dude.
Shall do, brother.
Thank you for popping in. Go ahead and keep delivering your pizza. I'll see you later, man.
Oh, Adrian.
Keep delivering your pizza. Keep delivering your pizza and your booze.
You're so. I'm not doing that. I'm driving trucks again, mate.
Okay, well, congratulations.
I don't know why you're so horrible to me, because I'm always nice to you, Adrian.
Horrible? What are you talking about?
You're being so mean to me.
Are you trying to degrade the pizza delivery guys?
Yeah. No.
You say, first you say yeah. First you say yeah, then you say
I don't want you grabbing any sound bites and making a horrible video about me, Adrian.
well, I gotta grab this one. Before you say yes, then you say no. There you go. I just got your ass on that one.
Oh shit.
So later on, I'm gonna ask you, hey, do me a favor. Can you say such and such? And I'm gonna have to get the there you go.
Yeah, I'll do that for you, mate. I'll do that for you.
All right, whatever. See you later. Good night, buddy.
Just remember though, if you do another video, if you do a video, there'll be another one from me. So keep that in mind.
Good day, sir.
No worries. Take care, boys.
Right,
see ya.
Well, Brother Jay, you want to go ahead and call it a night?
Yeah, let's go and call it a night, man.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you for being here. Everybody that was in the panel, everybody in the chat, thank you. Another great show. Hopefully, I will get in touch with Paul Witchenbig, and I will actually try to keep you guys updated on what is going on. Hopefully, he will also pop something into his channel. Check him out. Again, Dre, thank you for being here. Good night. Any last words, sir?
Like I always say, take care of one another. Go out and fly safe and fly within the rules, gentlemen. Take care.
Yep, and be on the lookout for some new videos of my unboxing, first impression, and first flight of the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0 Plus. Good night. See you later, Dre. Everybody in the chat, and good night.